Hey guys, how's it going? And today I'm bringing you a replay of me playing my Arpeggio Kongo. I recently took this out to finish my missions for, I think it is the Arpeggio Kirishima, that you could complete in tier 5 vessels. So I decided what better to do it with than another Kongo. And this was actually the last battle I needed to play this. And it seemed like a pretty good matchup. It was tier 5 max on Big Race. And I was pretty hyped on crushing everything, but it didn't start out as well as I had hoped it would, and I honestly didn't think it was going to be a good game. But it really picks up at the end, and as I'm sure you know by the title, it gets pretty interesting with the amount of damage I actually dish out with such a low tier battleship. When I first went through the line, I didn't quite like the Kongo. I liked I had Fuso, or I knew the experience of the Fuso in closed beta, and once you know the Fuso, it just kind of ruins the Kongo for you. But it's just a beautiful ship to play, and after playing it a bunch for the Arpeggio missions, I came to love it again. And a lot of these ships in this game, even though I can't quite get the gun arc down for these closer range engagements sometimes at these low tiers, a lot of these enemy ships are going to feel that. And right now I've finally loaded the armor piercing and threw some shots out at that Phoenix. And there's a Citadel. Across the map, 3 hits and a Citadel on a tier 4 light cruiser. Yeah, that guy won't be happy about his health bar disappearing, I'm sure. And I'm slowing down because there's a Svetlana coming through the channel into the middle of the map, and honestly I don't quite want to get out in front of all the enemy ships yet in case there is a couple destroyers up there. So I'm waiting to see the Svetlana come through. I know there's an Omaha over there too, which I'd gladly take shots at because those are free citadels. And oh, Königsberg too, really nice shots. And there's the Svetlana. And where's he going? Is he taking a beach party? He's doing a beach party. Alright. Reverse just a little bit so I don't hit the island. And give him a taste of my guns. Yeah. I really expected to do a lot more than that. And he killed one of our friendly cruisers with a torpedo. So, not very good. I really hope to do some decent damage to him. I don't know if it was the Kongo's guns trolling me or Russia just being Russia. But now I have a couple of cruisers seeing me and shooting at me because I'm not moving. And this Omaha is pretty tricky. He does adjust his speed quite often, and it throws off my shot patterns. He stops when I shoot at him, and I just bracket the front of his ship, and no damage. So not looking great so far for me. I only have that one Citadel across the map on that poor Phoenix, which is already dead. And that's it really. I haven't done anything. I've sat back and I've sniped and I've taken a little bit of damage from cruisers. So, attempt 2 at the Omaha, as another cruiser is trying to kill the Svetlana. Attempt 2 does 3,000 damage. Better than nothing, but I still kind of wish that was a Citadel because it was a broadside Omaha, and usually 99.9% of times that's a Citadel. But I probably shot a little bit more forward than I should have. So what am I shooting at next? Svetlana is turning out. Omaha still kind of sitting out there. I'm not gonna let him slow down too much to evade my shots, so I lead him low and get absolutely shit. This Omaha is trolling me, I swear. I don't know if it's the Omaha's captain, just that slowing down maneuver throwing off my shots, which is really cool to see at low tier because a lot of players won't, and or they won't even at high tier. But I don't know if it's that or the Kongo's guns just not wanting to cooperate with me. So I'm unhappy, so I'm gonna keep shooting at this guy. And 2k damage and nothing else. I'll put out that fire because I don't really expect to be put on fire again anytime soon. And I'm going to go engage this Svetlana who wants to push back into our team. And this Svetlana's having a wicked good game. And I know he has 4-kilometer torpedoes, so I'm trying to stay outside of that range. Try to give him a little pounding before he gets behind the island, but only end up doing 3k to him. There's a Wyoming just sitting over there, and he's not AFK, contrary to popular belief. He is just sitting there. And I get a Citadel on him, and here comes some shots from him. But I turned out when I saw them in the air, he was actually firing high explosive, and I can't quite put that out yet. I won't quite make a shot on that Svetlana, so I'll take some free damage on that broadside Wyoming again, since he doesn't feel like moving. So there's 20,000. Thank you, Wyoming. Have a nice day. Please feel free to donate more health next time. And this Svetlana's good. He's gonna try to torp me, but there's the torps behind me. I knew to turn out to avoid the 4-kilometer torpedo range, and now he's just kind of broadside to me. And broadside cruiser at this tier, I get some decent damage, but I don't get a Citadel, which is really surprising to me. I usually think they do have a Citadel. Most Russian cruisers are a freaking Citadel, but I'll keep working him over since he can't torpedo me. And ouch, his guns do hurt a little bit, but I don't think they'll hurt enough that I won't be able to kill him. He's trying to turn. He's turning, showing me enough of a broadside. Fire one shot and take him out. And there's that pesky Omaha. Screw you, Omaha. Launch a salvo at him, and there he goes too. Finally got a Citadel on him. I've also been noticed by the enemy carrier, which I don't really care about. They're just 500-pound bombs, and I have my repair up. So any fires that he sets, like that, I'll just put out. Wyoming finally learned how to move. Obviously, he didn't like losing 30,000 health to just 2 or 3 hits from my guns. So, yeah, he finally figured out where his engine was. And of course, Kongo doesn't want to cooperate, and I only get 2 little hits on him. But I'm letting my anti-aircraft do some work on these enemy fighter planes, helping my friendly carrier survive the engagement with him, because that will provide a bit of air cover for me if I ever need it. And that poor Miyogi beached himself all the way over there, and the consequences are that is he makes it a really easy target for me to do that to him and score 2 more Citadels. Poor guy. And that Nevny might be a problem. I don't really like the Russian destroyers. They're pains in the asses to kill sometimes. But Miyogi is still a really good target. And he's starting to go forward. I see his engine switch, so I lead slightly in front of his Citadel area. And goodbye. 2 more Citadels, add a 3rd ship, and a high caliber to my scorecard. So that's 9 Citadels so far. And here's the Nevny. We have a Miyogi right up against it. So Nevny also has 4-kilometer torpedoes. This Miyogi really needs to turn out and dodge the torpedoes from it. While he does have some good secondaries, they're not going to be good enough. There's Confederate for hitting that DD twice. And Miyogi didn't quite turn out enough to dodge the torpedoes, so he'll be going down right there. Königsberg moving in to support the Nevny. Enemy carriers way out in the corner, and I have a Königsberg next to me supporting me. So I need to both be aware that there's a DD here and support my Königsberg to try to keep him alive, because he's also providing me with anti-aircraft fire to keep this carrier off me. And for being such a close destroyer, I utterly fail at actually leading that destroyer and only land 1 hit on him. But thankfully, this Königsberg is doing some work on him with his rapid firing. I think they're 155, maybe they're 152 millimeter guns. But he's doing work, so I leave the destroyer to him. and focus the Königsberg that's trying to kill him, as he's broadside to that enemy Königsberg. And score some decent damage, but no citadels on a broadside Königsberg. So I'll live with the damage that I got off of him, but I'd like to really sink him and help my little Königsberg buddy here live. Now, enemy Königsberg, 6-kilometer torpedoes. I'm just at the 6-kilometer range, so I'm turning out. I'm avoiding the max range of his torpedoes so that they have no chance at hitting me. And I don't really have to worry about dodging them, as I citadel his cruiser and send him to the bottom with a devastating strike. So, 4 kills. Who's next? My little buddy here in the Königsberg, not doing too well now. He's burning from the enemy Königsberg who tried to kill him before he died. And we still have the enemy carrier to deal with. And our base is not doing too well. They have a lot of players pushing in on our base, and we're losing ships pretty fast. They actually have more ships than us at this point. But I'll take the 10,000 damage to the carrier. Really, for these missions, well, this one I wasn't farming damage, I just needed top 5 on my team. But for these missions, you really just want to farm damage. It's not really about winning or losing. So that's what I was doing, basically. I was trying to get first on my team by farming damage. And that bow will make a perfect target for that, if I can take him out. Ooh, that Königsberg barely survived. And the enemy team's in our base. I citadel the Bogue, making 11 citadels total. Our Königs is still pouring some decent fire into the Bogue, takes it down to 1,700 health. And some shots from an enemy battleship hit my Königs, take it out, but its final salvo kills the Bogue and gets him just a flesh wound award. So very good job to him. There's some free flags for you. So now I have to contest both the enemy base and try to help my allies control ours, because honestly the enemy team is completely shredding them. There's a Arpeggio Haruna, sorry, I thought it was a Kirishima. Haruna in our base trying to cap, and of course since I can see it, I can shoot at it with the long range on the Kongo, and hopefully I'll hit it. There is a Miyogi coming back to try to stop me, and I'm slowly kind of moving in that direction to try to set up an ambush, and I reset the Haruna for my teammates, doing about 4,000 damage to it. But that might not help them enough, and I don't have a really good angle on that Haruna. But now I have to deal with this Miyogi. He's getting really close, and that is basically a miniature Kongo when it has the fully upgraded hull like that. But I can shoot over the island at it, so I will do that. And since my guns are on the left side of my ship, I have to turn my ship broadside to that Miyogi in order to get all my guns trained on him. And of course, knowing me, I'm going to move away at an angle and try to shoot him, so I have to turn that side to face him. And I'll do that as soon as he fires at me with all of his guns. Which I know his front gun he fired first, and then he fired his rear guns in infusion. So I give him my front guns to try to convince him it's okay to turn. I start turning a little bit to try to make him actually fire at me. Still angling my ship, do about 6k to him with my rear guns. Take a decent amount in return, only about 4k though. And start turning my ship as my secondaries open up on his. And of course the replay doesn't show it, but I do have my secondaries focused on his ship. And there's a fire, that'll help me output some damage. And what I'm doing here, as I do 6k through his bow, is I'm trying to take out his front turret, which I'm not usually very good at doing. There's another 5k. I see a lot of players do it in higher tiers, but I was trying to do it just by shooting his turret, which obviously didn't work out too well, but it doesn't matter. He is kind of chasing me, we're about even on health too, but I of course have the extra gun and I think a little bit more armor. And of course if he's going to show me his broadside, I'm also going to do 10k to him, and that's perfectly fine by me. I'm not going to let him survive too much longer, but of course he survives that last salvo with about 4k, My secondary set another fire on him, and oh, he actually took out one of my guns. So I have to turn back slightly. I know his guns aren't going to be reloaded in time, and I'll just empty one of mine into him to finish him off. But sadly, as I get the Kraken, the enemy team has almost completely capped our base. Somebody just barely reset it right there as they died, and there's not much I can do to stop that. I'm hoping the Haruna was not the one that was reset on, because that's the easiest target for me to hit over there, and so I start lobbing shells in that general direction. And as soon as my other ones are up, empty all those. I do hit the Haruna and reset a little bit, but that's not the ship with all the cap points. And at this point, I'm just shooting to rack up a bit more damage and make sure I'm on top of the team, so I earn my Kirishima. And so I continue to just pound away at the Haruna, not really caring that we're about to lose, just based on the accolades that I earned in this battle and the multitude of flags that I'll get out of it. Because just based on that, it's a win in my book. And of course, lobbing shells at him, they're not really trying to stop me. I throw up my spotter just to get more accurate shots and try to hit the St. Louis, but my shells don't quite have the travel time, and that St. Louis does have a tight turn radius, and I will not quite be able to reset him in time as the enemy team caps our base and we lose the game. But I just wanted to put this game up because a lot of people requested it based on the screenshots of the after battle reports that I put up with the immense amount of damage that I did in a very, very small tier 5 battleship. Well, it's not quite small, but it is low tier. And I think this was probably my second highest damage game I've ever had. My first highest being in the Yamato, the Japanese tier 10 battleship. So it kind of started off slow, but it ended really well for me, despite it being a loss. And of course, speaking of end screens, here's the first end screen after that battle, showing I earned almost 500,000 credits just from that battle, and 4,000 experience, which I can of course convert and use on other ships. Along with that, I got the Dreadnought, Kraken, High Caliber, and Confederate award, giving me 40 total flags that I can use in various battles that I have after this, and of course a Devastating Strike award. And 11 citadels and 5 destroyed ships leads to a total damage of 209,000, bordering on 210, which in my opinion for tier 5 is an insane amount of damage. A lot of it's really hard to stack up this amount of damage at the tier because a lot of ships don't have that amount of health, or not a large amount of health. Like I said, this is probably second to my Yamato, though I haven't paid attention in some battles about my damage totals. I know my Yamato has my highest damage at about 230,000, I do believe. But I was just amazed at the sheer amount of damage that I could output in a tier 5 game. And this would have been great if I was grinding for damage and not just trying to get top 5 on the team to finish the Arpeggio Kirishima challenges. I also wanted to show the team panels just because I earned more base experience than anybody in the game on a loss, which as surprising as that is, I earned 600,000 more than the top guy on the winning team. It's also not totally surprising, I guess, because it is a low tier game, and if you can rack up that amount of damage in a low tier game, I think you deserve to have a high spot on the team list, to be perfectly honest. And finally, I just wanted to show my earnings screen showing that I earned 460,000 credits in that, of course with a premium account. These aren't premium ships as far as I'm concerned. I do believe they're recognized as just regular elite Kongos, so you don't get extra earnings on them, and the camouflage doesn't help you evade shots or anything. So even without a premium account, you would have earned 302,000 credits, which is a pretty good earning in my opinion. And of course, if you're going to do that amount of damage, you should earn a just bloody ton of money. So I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too, even though it kind of started off slow. I know a lot of people wanted to see this, and I am going to put on kind of a clickbaity title on it. I don't usually do that, but I'm definitely going to on this one just because it is an insane amount of damage in my opinion for just a low tier battle. And I hope you guys enjoyed this battle as much as I did. Have a great day and good luck out there.